Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathashala. I am Professor Abdul Sattar, Department of Philosophy, Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati. Today, we are going to discuss the module Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi under the paper Indian Religion and Philosophy. As you all know, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was one among the pioneers of contemporary Indian philosophers, and he is popularly known as the father of the nation. Certain learning objectives such as a brief biography of Gandhiji, the influences that shaped his thought and his views on God and truth, truth is God, and his views on characters of God, the nature of the world, the nature of man, non-violence, and his technique of Satyagraha, and its basic requirement of a Satyagrahi, and philosophy of end and means, and finally, a religion and morality. Before we discuss a brief biographical sketch of Mahatma Gandhi, let us first of all know why Gandhiji. Why should we know about the father of the nation? The world awakens to new horizons opened by technology, new discoveries made by science. It also awakens to painful realization that divides within and among the societies are not getting narrow. Amidst political unrest, economic inequality, social discrimination, human race seeks a ray of hopes. And one such ray of hope is Mahatma Gandhi. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi are the moral capitals of humanity, and persons as well as societies draw inspiration from such leaders, especially when they are in crisis. Plays like Mahatma vs. Gandhi, films like Lage Raho Munna Bhai, Gandhi, My Father, never fail to attract the critics as well as the ordinary people. Gandhiji was assassinated by a fanatic on 30th January 1948, he lived in myriad ways. He finds his followers in ideologies and movements from local to global levels. With this brief introduction about Gandhiji, let us understand Gandhiji's brief biography. Gandhiji was born at Porbandar on the 2nd of October 1869. His ancestors were Vaishya by caste and profession, but his father, uncle and grandfather were service holders. Although his parents were Orthodox Vaishnavas, they were enlightened enough to make all the necessary arrangements for giving modern education to their children. He was initiated into religious and moral traditions, yet his mind was sufficiently open to the changing needs of the times. In order to develop his philosophy, Gandhiji has got innumerable influences, both from the East and the West. It is true that Gandhiji's thought has originality and freshness about it, but it carries on it the stamp of a number of influences. One of the earliest influences that provided to Gandhiji's thought its backbone was that of ancient Hindu tradition, namely Sanatana Dharma. At a very early age, he had studied the Gita and the Ramayana, and also the Vaishnava and the Jaina literature. While in England, he got an opportunity of being acquainted with some of the intellectuals of the time and also with Christianity. Besides this, he had also first-hand knowledge of Zoroastrianism and Islam, and also of the works of Ruskin and those of other theosophists of the time. And he was also influenced by Tolstoy's Kingdom of God is Within You, and Ruskin's and to this last, Thoreau's Civil Disobedience influenced very much. And his philosophy of God is also strictly theistic in character. It is true that at times Gandhiji, more or less like an Advaitist, talks of the Nirguna character of the real. But that is so because he feels that the academic distinction between Saguna and Nirguna is irrelevant for the believers and practices of a true believer. In fact, he feels that God is needed not merely for the satisfaction of reason or intellectual curiosity, but also for providing strength and solace. A faith in God must enable an individual to be in peace with the world. According to Gandhiji, he is no God when merely satisfy the intellect, or if he ever does, God cannot be God. God must rule the heart and transform it. This is possible only when interpersonal relationship is possible and only when God is conceived as a person. Gandhiji was deeply impressed by the life and practices of the saints of the Bhakti cult, and therefore it was not difficult for him to arrive at the conception of a personal God. He was helped in arriving at this notion of God by his studies of the Bible and the Quran. The theistic conception of God, according to Tagore, is pantheistic, sometimes it is Advaitistic. For Gandhiji's theism is also is a type of Vaishnava belief where God and truth are sought to be identical with each other. But when truth is an impersonal principle and God is conceived as a person, there is a problem of identifying truth and God as identical. How can these two be identified? And this problem is solved by Gandhiji himself in making this truth is God with the conversion of God is truth. Here the change in the subject is both the subject and the predicate they are identical. There is no a dichotomy between these two. For example, if you change the statement all men are mortal, we can pass on from all mortals are men. In this, for example, you cannot make this change, all men are mortal, to all mortals are men. Why? Because the subject and predicate, they are not identical. Here in Gandhiji's what you call conversion of truth, God is truth to truth is God, can be converted. Why? Because they are taken as identical. That's why Gandhiji conceived God as all-pervasive. God is the reality in which everything lives and moves. In conceiving God in this manner, Gandhiji is almost identifying the metaphysical reality with the theistic God, and in the process, he is also identifying the character of all-pervasiveness with that of omnipotence. And God is also at times described as law by Gandhiji. Although this description creates an impression that God is an impersonal principle, Gandhiji rises above such an impression when he says that God's law and God are not different from each other. God himself is the law. To say that God rules everything means simply that his law abides. Gandhiji very often calls God love. The full implication of this description of God will be clear only when Gandhiji's conception of love and ahimsa is fully grasped. But one thing seems to be fairly evident, that there can be no other way of apprehending God than that of love. It is difficult to outline Gandhiji's views on the nature of the world because Gandhiji has not given a clear picture of the nature of the world. His views on the nature of the world are both casual and yet too scattered. Yet an attempt can be made to know this, his nature, his views on the nature of God in a better way. According to Gandhiji, the world is an expression of God. It is an evidence of the all-pervasive reality. That one reality is called Gandhiji truth or God. According to Gandhiji, God manifests himself in innumerable forms in the universe, and every such manifestation commands his respect. This description of nature has two implications, one metaphysical and the other practical. Although Gandhiji does not like either to raise or to answer the question regarding the why of creation, it is apparent that metaphysically speaking, the world is an expression of God and as such is both real and infinite. It is real because it is God's creation. It is finite because it is not itself God. Even a casual survey of the course of the evolution of the universe will show that the universe is real, although finite. Gandhiji tries to gather the results of the studies and researches of different sciences and comes to find that there is a law governing every movement and every development in every part of the universe. It can be nothing else but God himself, who is the perfect and the ultimate ideal of everything. Thus, God is the beginning of the world and also its end. This gives the world its reality. In the history of philosophy, there have been number of philosophers and thinkers who have given thought and attention to the nature of man. According to Gandhi, man is the combination of two things. One is bodily aspect another is spiritual aspect. That's why he feels that man is the complex of being. The bodily man is the apparent man. His body is the natural insofar as it is akin to other objects of nature. The body grows and decays according to the laws of the nature. But this aspect of man represents merely the physical aspect. Man is not merely a physical being. He has many other characters which are not just physical. He has consciousness, reason, conscience, will, emotion, and similar other qualities. He has an aesthetic sense, a feeling of sensibility, and an insight into the nature of good and bad. These are not just physical activities, these are the expressions of the real man, of the spirit that resides in him. An account of Gandhiji's theory of truth necessarily gives rise to his theory of non-violence. According to Gandhiji, non-violence and truth are as old as hills. All that he has done is he has done all the experiments in the practical life with both these principles, truth and ahimsa. And one, ahimsa is the means, truth is the end in Gandhiji. In Gandhiji, the word ahimsa has both a negative and a positive meaning. The positive aspect of its meaning is more fundamental for Gandhiji because it comprehends the negative aspect also and represents its essence. The usual meaning of ahimsa is non-killing. Most of its meaning is made broader by emphasizing that non-killing is merely one example of ahimsa. In fact, in conceiving ahimsa, thus Gandhiji seems to be influenced by Jainism, which recommends the practice of ahimsa in thought, speech and action. He is of the opinion that killing or injury to life can be an act of violence only under certain conditions. These conditions are anger, pride, hatred, selfish considerations, bad intention, and similar other considerations. Any injury to life done under these motives is himsa. Thus, the negative meaning of ahimsa is non-killing or non-injury. But this presupposes that a non-violent act is free from hatred, anger, malice, and the like. Ahimsa demands a sincere effort to free mind from feelings like anger, malice, hatred, revenge, jealous, etc. because these create obstacles in the way of love. According to Gandhiji, love is the energy that cleanses one's inner life and uplifts him, and as such, love comprehends such noble feelings as benevolence, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, generosity, kindness, sympathy, etc. Gandhi's, after understanding the concept of ahimsa, let us understand Gandhiji's technique of Satyagraha. It is also called as the technique of ahimsa. The word Satyagraha is a combination of two words, Satya and Agraha. Satya means truth, Agraha means holding to truth. Hence, Satyagraha means adherence to truth or holding to truth. And Gandhiji is aware of that a theoretical emphasis on the value and importance of Satyagraha. Truth and non-violence are the basic requirements for a Satyagrahi. And truth and non-violence would lead us nowhere unless a way is shown to the practice of ahimsa or satyagraha. That takes him to develop a technique of ahimsa, to which he gives the name Satyagraha, which is translated in English as truth force, or even at times soul force or love force. According to Gandhiji, truth is God and is agraha of Satya. Thus, it means holding fast to truth. Therefore, it demands a deep sincerity and a vigorous love for truth. It works on the conviction that truth represents the will and the ways of God. Therefore, the path of truth has to be followed in vigorous manners for no other consideration except the fact that it is God's way, that it is the way of truth. In this sense, the doctrine of Satyagraha is strictly rigoristic. And here the Satyagraha is practiced or maintained only in order to change the opponent's heart, not out of hatred or ill will. It is out of love. Satyagraha is to be practiced. And in every ethical thought that seeks to reflect upon nature and standard of morality, the problem regarding means and end becomes a very significant problem. Gandhiji's assertion that end and means are intimately related with each other is a common sense assertion, but he goes beyond common sense when he says that means and end are convertible terms in his philosophy of life. Means cannot be separated from the end, just as the way cannot be separated from the goal. Explaining the relation between the two, Gandhiji says the means may be likened to a seed, the end to a tree. There is the same inviolable connection between the means and the end. There is the relationship between seed and the tree. That is why Gandhiji gives a very great importance to means. He says that means are after all means. He would not say means are after all everything, as the means to the end. And there is no wall of separation between means and end. Indeed, the Creator has given us control, and that too very limited over means, none over the end. Realization of the goal is an exact proportion of that of the means. This is a proportion that admits of no exception. And let us switch over to the final subheading, religion and morality, in which Gandhiji believes that a true religion and true morality are inseparably bound up with each other. He would unhesitatingly reject any religious doctrine that conflicts with morality. He would be prepared to accept even unreasonable religious sentiment if it is not immoral. He says, as soon as we lose the moral basis, we cease to be religious. There is no such thing as religion overriding morality. Man, for instance, cannot be untruthful, cruel, and incontinent and claim to have God in his own side. The basic conviction of Gandhiji is that there is one reality, that of God, which nothing else but truth is. His religious ideas are also derived from that conviction. If truth is God, sincere pursuit of truth is religion. Religion is ordinarily defined as devotion to some higher power or principle. Gandhiji is not against such description of religion. He alone qualifies it further by saying that higher principle being truth, devotion to truth is religion. He tries to give an outline of what he means by religion in the following lines. I quote, "Let me explain what I mean by religion. It is not Hindu religion, but the religion which transcends Hinduism, which changes one's very heart nature, which binds one indissolubly to the truth within, and which ever purifies. It is the permanent element in human nature which counts no cost too great in order to find all expression, and which leaves the soul utterly restless until it has found itself in its own maker and appreciated the true correspondence between the maker and the self." And also Gandhiji vehemently admitted he is not irreligious. He always says that my religion is not a customary religion or a religion that underlies all religion. And he has maintained a unity of, he has tried his best to maintain the unity of all religions. Even in his ashram, the prayer meeting, he used to perform the prayers belonging to different religions. That's why Sarvadharma Samabhava is Gandhiji's life ideal. In addition to the relation between religion and morality, let us understand the cardinal virtues according to Gandhiji. The virtues approved and recommended by Gandhiji are nothing different from the requirements laid on for a true Satyagrahi. Only he can be truly moral who has voluntarily chosen for himself the way of Satyagraha. Therefore, Satyagraha is the highest morality. Even so, Gandhiji has given special emphasis on some of the virtues of life which, according to Gandhiji, are essential for a pious and moral life. These virtues have nothing new about them, but the emphasis that he has been given on them is both novel and morally expedient. Indian ethics talk about 5 such virtues. They are non-violence, ahimsa, truth force, satya, non-stealing, asteya, non-acceptance or non-possession, aparigraha, and chastity, brahmacharya. Gandhiji admits all these and adds some more. Gandhiji asserts that these virtues are to be practiced not only outwardly but in thought, word and deed. Let us sum up the entire module in which we have covered a brief biographical sketch of Mahatma Gandhi and the influences that shaped his thought and his conception of theism, wherein concepts such as God and truth is God have been understood, and also his views on the nature of the world, the nature of man, the nature of ahimsa, and the technique of Satyagraha and its basic requirements, and also the philosophy of means and end, and finally we have understood the relation between religion and morality according to Gandhiji. For further reading, you can refer to e-text. Thank you.